holders.
Holy fuck.
Since its inception in, wait for it, June 29th, 2000. So over 1,300 champions in 19 years.
Isn't that like the belt that had like the ladder be the champion?
Probably.
And most reigns goes to Joey Ryan at 43.
Yes. The first inanimate object to win the title, the ladder fell on Yoshihiro Sakai during a match against Yohei Mikami, with the referee counting the fall.
Yeah.
They've had fashion models win it.
Disposable chopsticks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that title belt, guys.
It's great. It's great. Like I saw like at a they had a WrestleMania weekend show a couple years ago where Joey Ryan defended it in a battle royal, and at the end of the show, the champion was the Sandman, who was not booked on the show at all, let alone that match.
Mandy Rose actually won the title at a live event in Orlando, Florida, which involved Joey Ryan. And, of course, the belt changed hands a few times between Joey Ryan, Pat Buck, Matt Stryker, Swoggle, the Sandman, and Jack the Jobber.
As in from Cultaholic?
And then, of course...
What Culture?
And, yes, when Joe Hendry threw the belt into the trash can because he hated comedy wrestling, the trash bin was, in fact, recognized as the champion. Until Jack the Jobber found it and was then recognized as the champion.
Oh, so he hacksaw dug into that championship.
And this is all happening in the same day after the trash bin had it and Jack the Jobber had it. Joey Ryan got it, followed by Shayna Baszler, Eddie Kingston, Joey Ryan, Joey Janela, and finally the Invisible Man.
Holy shit, there's a dude who's won it 216 times.
Yeah, sounds about right. So the big thing I wanted to say about Brandy, actually pretty much what Dan said. So Dan covered it.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks great at every single show. So if you want to see more of her, check out All Elite. But congrats to Juice Robinson. This match was great.
Yeah, it was.
Isn't like no one said a successful defense since Kenny Omega of this belt?
This was the Gaijin. This is the Gaijin match. So
they think like since Kenny Omega's been since Kenny Omega dropped that belt, no one has successfully defended it.
Nice.
So.
It's gonna be another one of.
Yep. Well, they said that was Cody's first defense, so.
Yeah. Because it was like Jay White beat Kenny, and then Jay White lost his first defense to Juice, and then Juice lost it his first defense
to Cody,
and Cody lost his first defense to Juice. That's what happens when somebody like wins the title right before G1 and stuff, because it's just like that's like Kenny only had like 3 defenses of the world title. Because he won it, like, right before G1 and all the tournaments started. So he would, like... Yep. He'd only get defenses on, like, the final show of the tournaments. Because you get a title right before, like, the second half of the year, you're only having a couple of defenses.
Right.
Because it's all tournaments the second half of the year for them.
Yep.
All right, so you've got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line. With a miniature Kushida.
Which was so creepy because he was wearing a full adult mask of Kushida, that kid.
I thought it was great.
And then, of course, Taguchi comes out as freaking Doc Brown.
Yep.
And he puts the kid on the freaking Rey Mysterio pad.
The best was when he came out and they're just like, that guy looked familiar. That guy, I feel like I've seen him.
They say that a lot.
I know.
Well, I'm just saying, Doc Brown is adjusting his funky weapon. By the way, Taguchi needs new tights, so hopefully he gets some wins. Because as you can see, his letters were falling off his ass during his match earlier. During the Trios tournament.
Kushida loses his championship.
Yeah.
And there could be a reason behind that.
But
There
not
could be.
because he's not back in a program. Right?
But it's
Well, I think he's under contract until either February or March. So there's a good reason.
So they probably have him
good
for New
movement.
Beginnings and then maybe not anymore.
Yeah. Because I know they're going to have him. They have him and Will Ospreay. They're going to be. They talked it over after a match today, and bumped fists, and both agreed to it. So it's going to happen. But it sounds like WWE has offered him a deal.
WWE has been rumored to be making a push for.
Yeah.
And this could be an actual sign. So,
And Kushida has been known to work in the U.S. and
Kushida will work anywhere and everywhere. Going to WWE will actually lighten his schedule.
that's actually true. Yeah.
You see, like, oh, there's no New Japan shows for next 3 weeks. I guess I'll go everywhere.
I'll go work Ring of Honor. Why not?
Yeah. Why the hell not? So, of course, everybody knows I'm a big Kushida mark, just because I love the time splitter gimmick. But that's okay, because, like I said, I know he probably won't be doing that wherever he goes. But still, I wish him the best. And Ishimori is another great worker, also known as Bone Soldier, or my favorite ring name, Army Santa. And he is your new junior.
Yeah, Ishimori doesn't.
This was, thus far on the show, this was the best worked match since Ospreay and Ibushi.
Yes.
As far as, like, pure work rate goes.
Well, I mean, we had two three-way tags.
Yeah. But they will not hold that title for very long, because up next is Jay White versus Okada.
Oh, yeah, at this point, there's 3 matches left, and there's still 2 hours
still, like,
and,
2
like,
hours
12
left
minutes left of time on here.
This was just the grudge match.
This match should have been great, and to me, this match kind of felt lackluster.
Yeah, they probably could have done more. And it makes me wonder what the future for each man is going to be.
Well, I know what the future is for Jay White.
Yes. we do know that.
We do know
Jay
that.
White does go over here.
He does.
And he defeats Okada. Oh, God. How do you say this guy's name again, Dan?
Okada Kazuchika.
Okada Kazuchika. That's one of my favorites. Not as good as Nakamura Shinsuke, which was still the best. But a great match. And then this one gets defeated immediately by the next match on the card. The most brutal match on the card. And if you thought Ospreay and Ibushi was brutal.
And I thought this was the best match on the card.
Me too.
You are not alone.
No, I'm not.
The general consensus of the internet is that Tetsuya Naito grand defeats over Chris Jericho in a no disqualification match for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship was in fact the match of the night. Now factor in a couple of things here. One, look at who the workers are. One of the best workers in the world, period, versus one of the best workers in the world, period. There's no denying that.
There's not.
Just that Jericho's got the more international name appeal because he's been around for so much longer than Naito. You know, Jericho started 1990, Naito started 2005.
I was watching Jericho 20 years ago.
Yeah. You were watching Jericho before Naito was actually working.
Correct.
But Naito is one of the biggest rising stars in the entire New Japan. You know, he's one of their top guys. He is going to be a big future player, depending if he stays or if he goes.
He's
I think
certainly looks like he's staying.
I think Naito is probably in their top 3 top guys.
I mean, the only people above him were who? Okada and Omega.
Okada and Tanahashi.
And you could argue Tanahashi.
Well, Tanahashi because, well, spoiler 8 times, but but you got a great worker like Naito, and the way this match was built, this was built as a grudge match, storyline driven, and also championship match. And they also built it in a way that Naito had to go over.
And they made
so
it
you
no
got
DQ the day before.
The day before, yeah. And this was the... this one had the spot that pissed me off because of the camera angle, because they did the spike DDT, and it looked like Naito died. And it was super nasty. And then they showed the replay, and it was from the other camera angle where you see him clearly holding onto the barricade. And I'm just like, oh, come on, Kevin Dunn. What the fuck?
But then you have Naito's head going through the table like usual.
Oof.
But not going through the table, like, at all?
But not completely through the table. He just puts a nice hole in it.
Yeah, that was that table won that exchange.
Because that happens...
Those are hardcore tables there, because they're smaller, they're thicker, there's like more, thicker metal on them. Like...
Yeah.
Well, Later, Tanahashi goes through a table and he fucking commits because you need to commit to break those fuckers.
He shatters it into a million pieces. But the funny thing about, anytime Naito has a match where he is DDT'd or pile driven on a table, he doesn't break it. Just his head goes through it. That's it.
Never breaks.
I'm just like, wow. But this is like a yearly thing for him. So it's like, yep, I'm putting a hole in the table.
So, here's what this match encouraged, and you guys can provide some feedback in the comments. I was considering, because we already have our Match of the Year candidate, but a lot of the times we end up putting a lot of hardcore stuff in there because of the excitement level. And not to say this match wasn't well worked, because it was, but I feel like we need a category for most brutal match of the year.
Well, because they
really
just straight
stuff.
Wrestled the last 10-15 minutes of this match.
Yeah. So, you guys tell us if that would be a cool category, contender for that. Or
so we have a fourth match of the year category?
Fourth match of the year category, exactly. And then the match that I thought was the best worked match of the show, just because of the story that it was driven, of course, was the main event. And the only reason I feel this way is because they took their time with the build-up, they got to where they needed to go, and then they started bringing out the false finishes. Some of which were really crazy. The only one that bothered me was the triple power bomb, where Omega really cinched in the third pin, and had Tanahashi not already kicked out of two of them, I would have been more inclined to pop for his kick out. But because he had already kicked out of two and it was part of a sequence, I kind of was just like, you cinched that in too tight. You're actually going to look bad if he kicks out of that. And sure enough, he did. That was like the only nitpick I had about that match. Otherwise, I thought this was a fantastic match.
I thought it was a great match.
Hiroshi Tanahashi dethrones Kenny Omega and becomes an 8-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Yep. And that's why he's in the top 3.
And his future is Jay White.
Exactly.
Jay White.
In fact, the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling has said first off, Jay White is now the leader of the Bullet Club.
He is.
So that's the first thing, and that's going to be next. Naito better keep his eyes on Taichi.
Again.
Ospreay better keep his eyes on Kushida.
Yep.
And Tiger Hattori has officially done his final wrestle.
Yeah, that's sad.
I know, but I've expected it. Now, we mentioned All Elite Wrestling. There's a very good chunk of stars here for New Japan that are expected to be heading over there, and of course, that's where a lot of the Wrestle Kingdom results feel like they came from. Rather than having hours to rewrite the show, the AEW announcement on the 1st gave New Japan a couple of days to write the New Year Dash show.
Yes, because 2 years ago, when the Good Brothers left, AJ left, and Shinsuke left, they told them that they were leaving right after the Wrestle Kingdom show. So it literally gave Gato and Jado hours to rewrite the New Year's Dash show.
So you want to get your mind blown? That was actually 3 years ago.
Was it 3 years ago?
Yeah. It's like, wow.
So
2 years ago was when Suzuki Gun came back. Like, wow.
So they were like, yeah, we